In the late 1960s, a revolutionary sedan emerged from a small factory in Neckarsulm, West Germany. The NSU Ro 80 wasn't just another car, it was a glimpse into the future. With its sleek aerodynamic design, spaceship-like rotary engine, and technology that wouldn't become mainstream for decades, it challenged everything people thought they knew about automobiles. The story begins not with a car, but with a company's ambitious journey from bicycles to revolutionary automobiles. NSU, founded in the 19th century in Neckarsulm, West Germany, started as a manufacturer of bicycles and sewing machines before becoming the world's largest motorcycle producer. This heritage of innovation would eventually lead to one of automotive history's most fascinating stories, the NSU Ro 80. Through the 1950s, NSU's motorcycles dominated racetracks and set records at the Bonneville Salt Flats. The company's post-war recovery saw them venture into automobile manufacturing with a surprisingly advanced two-cylinder air-cooled Prince. This small car gave the Volkswagen Beetle serious competition, offering superior handling and performance despite its modest engine capacity. As NSU's confidence grew, they introduced larger four-cylinder models and achieved notable success in touring car racing and hill climbing events. However, the company's most significant partnership began in 1951 when they started working with Dr. Felix Wankel, an enigmatic figure in engineering history. Wankel's story itself is remarkable. A self-taught engineer with poor eyesight that prevented him from driving, he conceived the rotary engine's basic principles in the 1920s. His early life included membership in the Hitler Youth Movement, and after World War II, his workshops were destroyed by French forces, leading to his imprisonment. Despite these setbacks, his innovative spirit remained unbroken. NSU's first venture into rotary-powered vehicles came with the NSU Wankel Spider in 1964. This two-seat model served as a testbed for the rotary engine technology, though its challenges would foreshadow the troubles ahead for the Ro 80. The Ro 80's development marked NSU's bold move upmarket. The twin-rotor Wankel engine was a marvel of compact engineering, just 16.2 inches long, 13 inches wide, and 13 inches tall, weighing a mere 223 pounds. It produced 113 horsepower and 101 pound-feet of torque at 3,000 revolutions per minute. Designer Klaus Luthe created a shape that would influence automotive design for decades. Without wind tunnel testing, he achieved a remarkably low drag coefficient of 0.355. The car's clean lines, large glass area, and distinctive profile set it apart from contemporaries and presaged designs that wouldn't become common until the 1980s. The Ro 80's innovation extended far beyond its engine. The transmission featured a novel semi-automatic system with a Fichtel and Sachs all-synchromesh manual gearbox connected to an automatic clutch and torque converter. The driver needed only to touch the gear lever to activate an electrical switch that operated a vacuum system to disengage the clutch. Suspension technology was equally forward-thinking. The car rode on fully independent suspension, with McPherson struts up front and semi-trailing arms at the rear. ATE Dunlop disc brakes were fitted to all four wheels. The front pair mounted inboard to reduce unsprung weight. Power-assisted ZF rack and pinion steering completed the sophisticated package. The interior combined cloth-covered seats with PVC headlining and carpeted floors. While leather seats were available as a factory option, few customers chose this luxury upgrade. The cabin's modern design emphasized visibility, with large windows that would influence future car designs. Production began in October 1967, and initial reception was enthusiastic. The Ro 80 won Car of the Year for 1968, and early production numbers were promising. The first full year saw 5,986 units produced, rising to 7,811 in 1969. However, serious problems soon emerged. The rotor tip seals, originally made in 3 pieces from the same material, wore unevenly. The center section deteriorated faster during cold starts, allowing combustion products to escape. Some cars needed complete engine replacements before reaching 31,000 miles, with problems appearing as early as 15,000 miles. NSU eventually resolved the seal issue by redesigning the centerpiece with ferrotic material. But the damage to the company's reputation was severe. The necessarily generous warranty policy strained NSU's finances, while dealers and mechanics struggled to understand the revolutionary engine. The Ro 80 underwent minimal changes during its production run. In September 1969, rectangular headlights gave way to twin halogen units, and air extractor vents appeared on the C-pillar. August 1970 brought a plastic grille, replacing the original metal version. The final May 1975 facelift added enlarged rear lights and rubber bumper inserts, increasing overall length to 188.8 inches. The 1973 oil crisis dealt another blow to the Ro 80's prospects. The Wankel engine's fuel consumption of 13 to 16 miles per gallon became increasingly problematic as fuel prices soared. Production numbers tell the story. From 7,811 units in 1969, output fell to 7,200 in 1970 and continued declining to fewer than 2,000 units annually by the mid-1970s. NSU's financial situation became untenable by 1969. Volkswagen acquired the company and merged it with Auto Union to create what would become modern Audi. The Neckarsulm factory continued producing Ro 80s until April 1977, with a total production of 37,398 units before switching to Porsche 924 production. The Ro 80's influence extended far beyond its production numbers. Its aerodynamic principles resurfaced in the 1982 Audi 100, built in the same factory. The car's suspension and steering technologies became industry standards. Even its semi-automatic transmission concept would influence future developments in automotive technology. Throughout the 1950s, NSU's production lines hummed with moped manufacturing alongside their successful motorcycles. The company's air-cooled rear-engine cars were initially successful, but gradually came to be seen as outdated. The front-drive NSU K70, later released as a Volkswagen, pointed toward the future, but came too late to save the company. Today, automotive historians like Martin Buckley, who owned 5 Ro 80s, consider the car a masterpiece despite its flaws. His book NSU Ro 80: The Complete Story presents a compelling case for the car's significance in automotive history. The Ro 80 demonstrated both the potential and pitfalls of automotive innovation, proving that technical advancement without proper development could lead to disaster, even while pointing the way to the future. In the end, the NSU Ro 80 stands as one of the most significant what-if stories in automotive history, a car that showed what was possible but also demonstrated the high price of being too far ahead of its time.